Hello everyone, welcome. Come on in, let's have some crafting time. I'm getting my desktop set up so I can see comments come in. We are here for our February craft along. Get your kits out and let's start having some fun. All right, I hope everyone has had a great Monday. I have had a wonderful Monday. I am so happy to be able to be here with you tonight and doing our crafting thing, as it is so much fun. For those that got the kits, I hope you are satisfied with all the supplies you got and all the projects. And I know, let's introduce myself first. For those that don't know me, I am Jennifer. I am an independent Stampin' demonstrator. I am coming live to you from my studio in Lexington, South Carolina. I am happy to be here with you. Get it out in a minute. I am so happy to be here with you tonight. But what I was going to say is, I know some of you that did order the kit, I've been checking the shipments because I did second day guaranteed deliveries, and I know there is a few that has not, according to my tracking information, has not received their kits. I have already reached out to the company that I use for shipping, and I will be in touch with you individually, giving you updates as to what's happened and what's gonna happen. It does show that some of the kits will be delivered tomorrow, but that is not what I paid for. So I will be in touch with you individually tomorrow once I get word from the shipping company I use, because I use Pirate Ship and to print all my labels and everything, and so they will make it right. So I will then turn around and reach out to you and let you know what I am going to do to make it right for you guys, okay? Also, I have already decided in March, I am going to be changing my delivery dates to get it out quicker to you guys. So that means registration is going to be changing. So be on the lookout for that information. Hello, Miss Bobby. So be on the lookout for that updates that will be coming down the pipeline. I actually will start advertising for March classes. I believe my schedule says Thursday. So be on the lookout for that, and stay tuned to the very end, because I have 2 bundles for the March craft along, and I'm trying to decide which one I want to use, and I'm going to get you to do the voting. So make sure you stay to the end of our video tonight, okay? So you got a chance to be in that as well and get your vote in as to what we're going to do for March. All right, guys, it is time to dive into our craft along tonight. For those that do have the kits, go ahead and get your supplies out. And I am going to turn my camera around, and we are going to get started with our projects tonight. You do have the step-by-step instructions. If you are not seeing them, then make sure you check your emails, because those were emailed out on Saturday morning. All right, so make sure you check your spam or any of that for the new customers that purchase the kits. Check your spam and make sure you got them. If you do not, reach back out to me then, and we will, I will resend it to you. All right, so let's share our cards that we have for tonight, and then we are going to start making our cards. So here is card number 1. Here is card number 2. Okay. Here is card number 3. Here is card number 4. I don't know if I'm gonna try to scoot these up. There's card number 4. And here is card number 5. All right, so these are the 5 projects that we are doing for Craft Along tonight. Now, if you are new to Craft Along, it is a kit that you purchase for $39. I do all your prepping and send you the packet with the supplies. And then we come together the last Monday of every month at 7 o'clock, and we will craft together and put the cards together. All right, so if you are interested, make sure you're on my email list. Debbie, you are watching live. Yeah, you're watching live. This is my craft along that I do the last Monday of every month. But if you missed out on the kits this month, make sure you're on my email list because I will be sending out March's information very soon. Normally I have leftover kits, but this time I only cut according to the orders. So if you are interested in the supplies, I will walk through the colors and all of that. You can make a shopping list, and there is a link in my video that you can click on and be able to do your own ordering. And I can send you the PDF file if you place that order. All right. So, we are using this stamping bundle called Greenery Lanes. At first, I was not going to get this stamp set, but I did a demonstrator card swap, and they sold me on it with some of the samples we made. So, these are some of the projects that I have made using this set. These are just samples of other cards that I have done. So this will give you an idea as to other projects that you can do besides the ones that we are making tonight. All right. So there's those. But we are going to be using Greenery Lane tonight. All right, so let's dive in. And like I said, at the very end, I have the March's bundles, and I am going to get your vote as to which one is going to be. So stay to the end, and if you're catching this on replay, I'm going to leave it open until Wednesday. And then I will have to make the decision on Wednesday so I can get the marketing piece out, because I am changing deadlines so packets can get out sooner. Because for some reason, I believe it was last month's and this month's kits are not making it to the customers when they need to be, and I don't like that. I want you to have your packet on time. All right, guys, ready? Welcome for those that have come in after I flipped the camera. I thank you for being here. So I appreciate you, and I am so grateful to have you here. All right, so what we're going to do is, this is our first project. Now, I don't know if y'all have played with the washi tape, but let me tell you. This has been a challenge for me, to where I wanted to sling this stuff down my staircase and just let it unroll and be done with it. But I think I have found an easier way than what I was doing, so we shall see how this goes. If you like this, and which I do, I love it, and I'm glad Stampin' Up! Is coming out with it, but it is tricky to roll it out and get it onto your cardstock straight. So if anybody has tips or tricks and they love this stuff, let me know, because I feel sure Stampin' Up! Is going to be using washi tape quite a bit, because this is our second one that we have gotten. So any tips or tricks on washi tape, please share. I know everybody would love to know the ins and outs. Because it was a struggle in making the kits, because on some of the kits, I did, let's see, I did sheets like this where I just rolled it out on basic white cardstock so you can die cut them or fussy cut like I've done in this one. So it was a challenge. I'm gonna be honest. It was a challenge, but it's gonna be well worth it once we get our projects together. All right, so here we go. Let's start making this card. So here is Secret C cardstock. So this is going to be our base. I was actually looking, here's one. I was actually looking for my bone folder. So we're going to varnish the side here. Give it that good sweep down. For the inside, we just took a piece of the basic white cardstock, and we're going to just go ahead and do that now. And we attached it to the inside using Stampin' Seal or liquid glue. So your choice. I'm going to let that be your discretion as to which one you used. But we're going to just lay that straight in the center there. All right. Now, I have already cut two of the greeneries, and these were stamped in Secret C ink on a piece of basic white. Now, if you got the kit, you only got just a piece of basic white cardstock, and you will need to cut these, okay? Because I can't stamp them, so I didn't pre-cut those. And then you should have a piece of basic white cardstock and a smaller piece of cardstock for your label. So we're going to go ahead and do our label punch. I am using our to the point label punch. And if you're not familiar with our punches, you can turn our punches upside down, and then it shows you what you are actually punching out and where you're punching it. So I'm going to punch that out and get that ready. So we're going to put that over here, and we're going to put that there. All right, now, so here we go. We are going to roll our Greenery Washi Tape over this piece of cardstock. Now, in the kit, you should have a little bit of this rolled on a acrylic block so it don't stick, okay? And then what we're going to do is we are going to line this up, hopefully. We are going to attempt to line this up. We're going to start up here at the top. All right. I'm trying to get this over on the side, and then we are going to cut it off, but I want it to... And then I've learned that if you do just a small piece at a time and work your wrinkles out, it is a lot easier doing it that way, instead of running the whole thing across at one time. All right. Now we're going to take our snips, and we are going to run that across the top and cut it loose from the roll. All right, and then this bottom piece, we're going to do the same thing. And then we're going to take our paper trimmer, and this is where I learned to be a little easier. I cut my basic white cardstock a little big to where I have leftovers on the side. So we're going to just trim off the excess of the basic white cardstock. And that prevents you for trying, because originally what I was doing is cutting the cardstock the width of the washi tape like that, and then it was so hard getting it straight. So I cut the cardstock bigger, and that way you got more room to play with. All right, now we're going to start stamping. So you're going to need your Secret C ink. So we're going to take our Secret C. And for this sentiment, I did love and hugs. But this stamp set comes with all kinds of things. You could do here for you. You could say a thank you. Love and hugs. So there was 3 different ones that you would be able to do on this label. And then the other one is just too big. We wouldn't be able to do that one directly on. All right, let's move these over. And last night I was moving everything from block to block because I had them all tied up. And I have since cleaned everything up, put away all the kits, and I believe I've got my blocks black. So hopefully we're not going to have that issue. All right, so now I'm tapping my stamp set, or my stamp, into my ink, and we're going to just line this up and stamp down. And that gives you that great image. Love and hugs. Just love that. All right. Now, that is all the stamping I need to do. So I'm going to close this ink pad up. Make sure, for those that needed to do this, you stamp your greenery. You stamp your greenery into your ink pad onto that piece of basic white, and then you will take the die, if you purchase the bundle, you will take the die and then run it across because it cuts it out. Wrong one. I was like, why ain't it matching? Then you take the die and you line it up just like that and cut it out through the embossing machine. Now, if you did not buy the stamp set, but you did buy the kit, you can always substitute. There is more ways to do this than just having the exact same bundle. You can always substitute. All right. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to take my glue dots, and I am going to put, if I can pick them up, my goodness, we're going to put just a few on the back. And you can also use liquid glue with this instead of the glue dots. But I am going to try the glue dots. I think my sample is done with glue, but we're going to try it this way. And then you're going to just kind of put it wherever you want it on your card base, okay? That's going to be totally your call. All right, so let's do this. We're going to do another one. And then we're going to do one more. And let's do one more. Okay. And then this one, you're going to turn up the opposite way. And you're going to have it overlay in that one. Now, you know, we got to pop that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our dimensionals and we're going to put, what should we do? 4. And that way we know we're secured. going to take our pick tool and we're going to take these little backings off. Okay. And then this is going to go right over where you connected the two together, and that way they're not seen. Okay. Now we are ready to put this onto our card base. So I'm going to put this on with my Stampin' seal. We're going to put this across. Okay. And then this is going to go, ooh, that is a little too long. I did not cut that enough. So let's do this. We need to do just a small trim. Let's try that now and see if that's any better. Because you don't want it hanging off the top of the card. Okay. Oh, that's so pretty. All right, now we're going to do our embellishments. And for this one, I did the adhesive back metallic gems. And I split the pack with the orders that came in. So you would have, I believe it's 2 rows of each color, because there's copper, silver in here, copper and silver. So on this one, I did the copper. So we're going to put this over here. And this one's kind of laid out a little different. And then I am going to do, oh, there's gold in here too. It's copper, gold, and silver. So we're going to do the copper. We got a big one and 2 small ones. Okay. And then we're going to put that one over here. Well, all right. I guess I didn't pull the glue off of that one. So let's try that again. We're going to put, why am I not? Hold on, guys. All right, let's try it this way. There we go. All right, now we did the copper on the top, and then it looks like I did 2 silvers down at the bottom. So let's do the big one there, and then let's grab a small silver, and we're going to put it. Guys, what in the world? All right, I don't know what I'm doing with not getting my glue. So let's put a glue dot, and we're going to just put that right on the back of this one. Because this makes the 3rd one that I've lost the glue dot. All right, so okay, we're going to roll that around so it don't stick out, because that's the last thing you want it to do, is to be sticking out. All right, perfect. Okay, so there is card number 1. Okay. Now, if I am going too fast for you, for those that got the kits, you can always watch and then come back and watch the videos, because they're going to be here for 30 days. But then you can also go to my YouTube channel, and they live there forever. So don't feel like you have to keep up with me if I am going too fast. Okay, so now for this one, I used Lost Lagoon cardstock. I have Garden Green cardstock. I have the washi tape. And then Garden Green and Basic White with the linen thread here. All right, so I'm going to show you a little trick with this one. We got our basic card base here. So we're going to take our bone folder and do what we normally do. And then I've called out the colors that we have. So we've got the garden green and the basic whites. And then we got the basic white that goes on the inside. And then for this one, I did stamp. So let's do this. I've got that we need to stamp. And then we need to punch out our sentiment so we can do that. So let me go ahead and punch that real quick. There's that. And then you should have a piece of scrap garden green. Go ahead and you should already have this punch because I did this for you. So you want a garden green and a basic white for this one. All right, so now we are going to do, let's go ahead and do our washi tape, and then we'll stamp and then assemble, okay? All right. So now for the washi tape, we're going to do the same process that we did before. We're going to layer this on to our card base, or our cardstock, not card base. And you're going to do a little bit at a time so you don't get it all over the place and get wrinkles. Now, do you see this piece is way bigger than the other one, and see how smoothly that went? That is why I said, you know, I know it's wasting a little bit of cardstock, but it keeps you from throwing the washi tape down the staircase. So I would rather lose a little cardstock than to do that, because crafting is fun and not stressful. And so that is the name of the game. All right, so did not print my instructions, so let's make sure. Okay, I need this to be 5.5 by 3 3/4. Okay, so 5.5. All right, 5.5. Okay, and because I've got green on each side, I'm not going to put it right at the half mark. I kind of like it with that green, so I'm going to leave that. So we're not going to cut that much off. There. And then we're going to cut just a little bit on this side. All right, now let's make sure that's going to line up. Yes, it does perfectly. All right, get that over there. Okay. All right, so now we need to do our stamping. This is a 2-stamp stamping piece. So we are going to do our garden green and our Lost Lagoon. And then we have 2 flowers here. You have a piece of basic white cardstock that has the tape on it. We are cutting it from that. Okay, so either you will cut it with the dies or you're going to fussy cut. And I have already got some pieces here. It might not be the exact one as the other one, but it is gonna do this, and this are gonna be my pieces. All right, so for the stamping, we are gonna open the garden green and we're gonna open the Lost Lagoon. Now, I want to stamp on the outside. I want to stamp that piece in the garden green. And I'm going to tap that into my corner. of my cardstock. And this is going to go on the inside, okay? Now, the other thing we're going to do is, here is the inside piece, and I'm going to share with you that you are going to need to stamp off. Otherwise, it is too dark. So I need to get my scrap paper that I used last night to do my stamping off. So we're going to put that here. And the inside of it is going to be tapped into the Lost Lagoon, but then is going to stamp off. And then you are going to stamp on. And because this is photopolymer, it is easy to line up. And there's the inside. Now, real quick, I wanted to share with you if you did not stamp off so you can see the difference. Okay? So we're going to do another piece here for the garden green. And we're going to stamp it here. And then let's do the Lost Lagoon for the inside. And this time we're not going to stamp off, okay? We're going to line it up, stamp, and lift. That is the difference. And I don't know why it gave me the white things, but that is actually kind of cool. I kind of like that. But that is the difference with stamping off versus not stamping off, is just way darker. So either way is fine. It's just going to be dark if you don't stamp off. Okay. All right. Now let's clean those off. And I think, oh, we got to stamp our sentiment. And then we can assemble. So for this one, we need to take our label. I'm going to put that down until we need it again. And this one, we are using the sentiment Here For You is the sentiment that we're using for this one. All right. And I stamped that in Lost Lagoon. And then we're going to stamp Here For You and lift up. Clean that off. Now that is ready. Okay, so now let's go ahead and close up these ink pads. Since we're done with that. And we are ready to do some assembling. So for the inside, all we're going to do is take our inside with our Stampin' Seal. And we're going to hook that down. Okay. And then for the top, we're going to go ahead and hook this down. Okay. And if you have purchased, I'm going to have to cut this because I see I'm hanging off. If you have purchased this kit, I would love for you to put your make and takes in the comments section to show us your creativity. It is so much fun to do these together and then share your projects. All right. There we go. It was just a hair too big. All right. Now we are ready to do our label. Now you're thinking, wait a minute, these are the same size. So why did you do that? Watch this technique. Take your snips and cut this in the center. And if you don't trust your cutting, then get the cutting tool and cut it however, okay? Now what you're going to do is you're going to put one strip of adhesive on it. You're going to line the white up at the top, giving it just a little shadow overward. okay? And then you're going to do the same thing on the bottom piece. You're going to put one strip of adhesive, and then you're going to line it up, giving it some greenery around. And there you go. Now you've got a shadow, but using the same thing. Okay, now we're going to put our little greenery on here. So what I did is I took a glue dot and turned my flower over and put the glue dot on it. And then we're going to hook that on the back side of our label. And you're going to do the same thing with your other greenery. We're going to do this. Come on. Maybe. There we go. Okay. That one's wanting to be stubborn. So we're going to put 2 glue dots. We're going to put 2 glue dots on this one because it is just being so wacky. All right, so we're going to put that coming from the top here. And then look, the glue dot went in the wrong place. Seriously? All right, let's see if we can fix that. There we go. All right, now we're going to put our label on using dimensionals. And as another security, we're going to put that on with the dimensional there as well. So that way it is secured and covered. We're going to take our backs off. Okay. And this is going to go right here. We're going to take our metal gems. And for this one, I did 3 gold. I did a big, and then I did 2 small. No, I didn't. I did 2 big on the label itself. I did 2 on the label, and then I did 1 small. We're going to stick that one down there. Okay, now we're going to take our linen thread and we are going to do a double bow. And if I'm not mistaken, I tied all the bows, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe that was for Creativity Club. But I tied bows, and I believe I tied y'all's bow. So you should already have this piece. So if you do, while I'm tying mine, you can go ahead and get your glue dot and attach your double bow to your label. Okay. And then you make your tail and your bow top as big or as small as you want it. Okay. Perfect. Okay. And if you're hopping on during the video, welcome. We love to have you here with us doing our crafting tonight. We are doing our monthly craft along. These is a kit that you can pre-order. Normally I have extra, but this time I only did 2 the orders. So I don't have any extra, but you can always go to my store and purchase this. All right, so because I did that, now we're going to cut the tail because it's too long. And we're going to cut this one. Oop. Okay, there is that one. So here is card number 2. All right. There is card number 2. Okay. Now, let's go to card number 3. I think card number 3 is my favorite. I really like this one. So, let's see. This one's got a lot of pieces. So, you know me. All right. So, here is the card. So, this is kind of a fun fold card. So we're going to make this card together. So we are using, for the base, we are using Pretty Peacock. Then we have 2 pieces of the Lost Lagoon. We have 2 pieces of basic white cardstock. Then you should have a scrap piece of basic white cardstock so you can cut your greenery and your other greenery. And then you should have a piece of Berry Burst greenery die cut. Now this I did die cut out because it wasn't stamped. And then you should have a label out of the basic white. Okay? So here's how this card goes. There's a lot of steps to this card, but it is so cute. I loved it. So we're going to fold our card base down and go ahead and give it that score line. Now you're going to need your paper trimmer for this. We are going to cut a 1-inch strip in here. Make sure that's correct. I don't want to tell us wrong. We need to have, oh goodness, hold on, let me look real quick. Yes, we need to cut a 1-inch. So we're going to take it and cut 1 inch into our card base. And we're going to stop at the score mark. Don't go past the score mark. Because if you do, then you're messing up your card. All right, so now we're going to take it the other side. And you're going to do the same thing to where you're cutting 1 inch up to the score. Up to the score mark. So you should have it where it's flapping, okay? That is how you're wanting it to be. Am I a little too close to the screen maybe? There we go. Back up some so you can see it. So you're going to want your pieces to be flapping. All right. Now, I used liquid glue for this. You can use the adhesive, the tape runners, but for this, I did use my liquid glue. So we are going to take our liquid glue, and you're going to put just a little bit on each one of those flaps, on the side only, okay? And then you're going to take this, and you're going to glue this down. And you're going to do the same thing for this side. You're gluing that down. So now that is going to be solid. And then you just have this one piece that is at the top of your card. Okay. Now, it is time to do a little stamping. So we need our Pretty Peacock. And what I did for this is I took the I took the greenery limb and I tabbed it into my Pretty Peacock. And then I just randomly stamped my sides. There is no patterning at all. Just kind of however I could get it onto my card. Okay. So you need to do the same thing with either the Greenery Lane stamp set or whatever you're using to substitute. There we go, okay? So you're going to just go down that side there, and that's all you're going to do for that. All right, so I'm closing up Pretty Peacock so we don't get that everywhere. Now, for those that need to stamp, you're going to need to stamp your Greenery Lane. You're going to need to stamp your Greenery and Lost Lagoon. And then for this one that we used earlier, you're going to need to use your Garden Green and your Lost Lagoon. All right? I have already done that piece, so I'm going to continue to move on. Now, we are going to stamp the Greenery for the inside of our card. We're going to stamp the Greenery, a partial of it, not the whole thing, okay? So if you have a desktop like I do that's kind of white and will show, you need to get a piece of scrap paper that you're going to be able to stamp on, okay? So I'm going to pull my paper out and get my stuff out from under it. So I've got a straight stamp image, and I'm stamping that in the Lost Lagoon. And this one is where you're going to need the Berry Burst ink. And I didn't pull Berry Burst, so let me grab that. Let me grab that real quick. Okay. All right, so we're going to do Lost Lagoon first. And we're going to tap our Greenery in that. And then we're going to just kind of put it into the bottom corner. Uh-oh. Let's see, can I line that up? Okay, well, that'll do. Not the greatest, but I had it too far up. All right, so now we're going to take our little flower. We're going to put that on that. We're going to take our Berry Burst ink. And we're going to tap it in. And we're going to go around it 3 times. For the inside. And that's all we're going to do there. Okay. So now, we're going to put that away. We need to stamp our sentiment. And then we will be ready to assemble our card. So our sentiment for this one is I used thank you. I go through so many thank you cards. So I do tend to make a lot because I do use a lot. So we're going to stamp it in Lost Lagoon onto our label that was pre-cut for you. And that label is coming out of my favorite die set, which is the Style and Shape dies. I am going to be so lost when Stampin' Up! Decides they're going to retire that die set. I'm going to be so lost because that is my go-to. A lot. All right, I'm going to just clean my stamps off real quick. Get that ink off of them. And then we will assemble our card. And then go to the next one. All right, so now, we have got to, sorry, let's do this real quick. Let's put this up. We got to pull our washi tape back out. And this is covered in the washi tape. I thought we were done. I'm sorry. So we're going to pull out our washi tape. And I'm going to pull this down so I can see it because I have showed y'all how this is done. All right, so we're gonna do that. Okay, and because this is a small piece of basic white, we don't actually have to cut the cardstock, but we've got to cut the greenery around it. So we're going to take our snips now, and we are going to run across here. Just like that. All right. And you can do this with the cutting tool as well, but I was thinking I could just run around it with my snips and it would work. For the most part, it did. For the most part. All right, let's see. What's next? Get that glue off my fingers. Now we're ready to assemble. All right, so we're going to take this, and it's going to lay on top of our Lost Lagoon. Yes. Okay. We have a step before we put this on the card front. We have a step that we have to do first. So don't let me forget, guys. Y'all flag me when I go to glue that down, and we're not supposed to glue that down yet. So let's go ahead and hook this one on the other piece of Lost Lagoon as well. And then that's going to go on the inside of our card base. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and put this down. This one is for the inside. We okay. So we're going to take this, and this is going to go right in here, and it fits just perfectly in our cut. So if you cut your 1 inch, then you won't have any issues there. Okay. So this one's going to go right there. But before we do that, you need to pull out your linen thread. And this one I did not tie because you wrap it around your piece 3 times before you tie a bow. Or you can tie a knot if you don't want to tie a bow. That's fine too. It is your project, so you do how you want to do it. Please don't feel that it has to match mine exactly, because it don't. All right, so since I need room to tie, we're going to do one more this way. And then we're going to tie a bow. Or we're going to try to tie a bow. Looks like I got 2 left hands right now. Oh boy, come on. Do y'all ever have days like that to where you just are not functioning? Look at me. Oh my gosh. It happens, trust me. And I got projects to work on tonight. I got to function here. I gotta get kids ready to go out for craft along. For create clubs. All right, so here we go. Let's see what we gonna have. I don't know. All right, I got it tied, so let's see if I can make it look good. Yeah, that don't look bad. See, this is why I always do a double bow, because my bows want to curl up for some crazy reason. All right. Let's cut our linen thread. Cut the tails off there. Now, and I'm not sure, we're going to put it together and then I will see how much of it I'm going to cut off. All right. It's wanting to crisscross on that bottom. Oh, well, guys. That'll be fine. Okay. Now what we're going to do is take these pieces and we are going to hook them together. So I'm going to take my berry bush and my basic white, and you're going to kind of stagger them. I'm going to use a glue dot here. I'm going to actually put 2 on berry bush. And like I said, it's going to be staggered. And I want the berry to be on the top more. So we got it like that. And now we're going to put glue dots on the back of it so it can be put down onto the card. And I think I tucked it. Yeah, I kind of tucked it in between the linen threads. Kind of weave it in there. All right, so we're going to put that down. Now I'm ready to cut this because it's in my way. All right. And then what I did is I took this one then and I stuck it on the top. Okay. And there. And that's going to go. That's going to go right in there. Okay. And then for this, we did dimensionals for the backing. Okay. Let's do one more. So this is kind of a short one. I think we can get away with just 2. So let's try 2. All right. And then this goes to cover up all of the stems, or most of them. I know that one's still sticking out. So what you could do is just kind of snip that off. And they won't see it. Okay? Taking our adhesive and running this across here. Okay. Uh-oh. Now we're going to take that and we are ready to put it on the front of our card base. And there is card number 3. Isn't that pretty? Oh, we got to do our embellishments. So for this one, again, I use the metal gems. Not metal, metallic gems. What'd I do with them? Oh, goodness, guys. I thought I was going to go all night and not lose one thing. Where did I put them? Oh my gosh. There they are. I even put them in a basket to keep it all together. All right, so for this one, it looks like I used the gold. So we're going to take one of the big ones. And let's drop that right there. Then let's take a small one. And let's drop it right there. And then we're going to do another small one. And we're going to drop it down here. All right. So there are our gems to top off the rest of the card. Okay, so that's card number 3. All right, let's go to card number 4. How y'all doing out there that's crafting with me? Are y'all hanging? I sure hope so. All right, so here is card number 4. So what we have for this one is a piece of our basic beige cardstock. We have a piece of our designer series paper from Nature, is it Nature Walk? What is that bundle called? Hold on, let's see what the name of that designer paper is. It is called Nature Walk. It is a 12 by 12 designer series paper. So I took a piece of it. So you've got that. Then we have our vellum. And I cut this out with the textured note dies. So that's vellum. And then you have a piece of basic white that was cut out with the texture note dies. You have a piece of basic white cardstock for the inside. And then you should have a basic beige sprig like this that has been pre-cut. All right? So let's do our stamping first. And then we will assemble at the end. Okay? So for this one, we are going to repeat like we did at the beginning. So you are going to need your Garden Green and your Lost Lagoon. All right, so there's that and Lost Lagoon. Hold on. I got Pretty Peacock, Secret Sea. Where in the world? There it is. Lost Lagoon. And I need my scrap because I got to stamp off because I don't want it too dark. All right, so for this, what we're going to do is tap the first into the Garden Green cardstock. And we're going to layer that right there. And then you're going to do the same thing for the inside piece. You're going to just stamp that onto your card base. Then your Lost Lagoon piece, you're going to stamp off. And then that is going to be lined up to match the inside of your greenery. Stamp off. And your greenery. Perfect. Oh, that is so beautiful. All right, now we're going to do our stamping for our sentiment. And that I used the Lost Lagoon. That is all I did for the inside. So we're going to move that over so we don't get nothing on that piece. Now, because Wishing You Well is so long, and that is longer than this, there is a side grid on the side of our ink pads. I am using that, and I'm only stamping in the ink up to that point. And I'm only putting ink on Wishing You. Okay? And then we're going to center this at the top of our cardstock. Okay? Now I'm going to take my chamois and clean the ink off of that. You're going to need to make sure you clean it so you don't get more ink on it. And then we are going to do well in the same way using that link on the edge of the ink pad. And then you're going to just kind of layer this on there where you want to put that. Okay? Now clean that. And I need to clean this one. All right. Now, we are done with the ink, so we don't get it anywhere. Let's go ahead and close up our ink pads. And we are ready to assemble, guys. All right, so let's take our basic beige, fold it, run our bone folder. You're going to take your basic white and your adhesive. And we're going to run that across there just like so. And put that down. We're going to take our... all right. I'm going to take my designer series paper. And then I like to do my top layering before I attach it to the card base, because then if I mess up something, I have a better chance in resalvaging stuff versus putting it down and be stuck. Now, because you can see through vellum, you only want to put vellum in the middle to where you are going to cover it. Because if you put it all over it, it is going to show through. So run 2 strips in the center. And then line it up where you want it to go. And then press it down. Okay? And then this is going to go on the top of that. And because it's going to cover your adhesive on your vellum. Okay? And that way you don't see where you connected it. Isn't that gorgeous? All right, now what we're going to do is take our cut sprig, and again, using the glue dots, or you can use liquid glue, your decision. I am choosing to do my glue dots because I tend to get the liquid glue all over me sometimes, and I am not wanting to get all glued up tonight. So we're going to do it this way tonight. And then we're going to do one more glue dot there. But you have to be careful because the glue dots will go, they're bigger than the leaves. So to fix that, we're going to roll it to where it's not sticking. And this is going to be the last one because I only use in 3. And then this way it will fit. Yeah, see, that's better. So this, then we're going to overlay it like that. All right. Then we are going to switch it up. Instead of the baker twine, we are using the black and white and gold baker twine. This came out for Christmas, a Christmas bundle. And but this is great to use on more than just Christmas. So I'm going to do a double bow. And if I'm not mistaken, in the kits, I did this for you, if I'm not mistaken. So if I did, go ahead and take your glue dot and connect it over the corner of your sprigs, because that's going to kind of camouflage and hide that. So if I did do the bow, go ahead and hook it down. I didn't use this much during Christmas, and now I really wish I had. I love it. I wish I had done more with it during Christmas, but I didn't, so it's all right. There's so much that comes out, we just can't get everything. That's why at the end of the video, I need y'all's help, because I don't know which stamp set to do for next month's craft along. I'm going to use both of the stamp sets. I just don't know which one to do for craft along versus Creativity Club versus in-person card classes. I mean, there's just so many things. So I need help. All right, so there's that. So now we're going to assemble this onto our card base with our adhesive. So I'm going to let y'all do the voting for Creativity Club, so that helps me narrow it down. All right. And I'm going to show those at the end of the video. So hang tight. We got one more project. All right. So for this one, we are switching up our embellishments. And we are using what is called deer dots. And I did the garden green in here. So we've got, we got 2 here. So we're going to put 1 right there. We're going to do 1 right there. And I'm hoping I have, yes, okay. Whew. I was hoping I had another set. Here's my deer dot, and we're going to put that one right there. All right. You can tell I have fell in love with these, right? Because I have used the heck out of that. All right, so let's put that together so I know I got deer dots. All right, so there is card number 4. Okay, so let's go to card number 5. And here is card number 5. Now this one is a little different. I did change this one up a little bit. So this one we are using cloud cover for the card base. We are using Secret C cardstock. You have 2 pieces of basic white cardstock. You should have a square for your sentiment. And then you should have a sprig out of the Secret C. And then out of that piece of cardstock that has the washi tape on it in the kits, you will need to pre-cut one of those out. Okay, so let's see if I have another one or if I am gonna have to cut one. It looks like I've got to cut one. So let me do that while you are cutting yours. So I don't seem to have one. All right, so let me step to my die machine and get that pre-cut. If I can find my dies. There we are. All right, give me 2 seconds. While you are cutting yours, I am going to step away and cut mine. And when I say cut it, if you got the die set, this fits right onto that washi tape. Okay? So let me do that real quick. Two seconds and I'll be right back. I thought I'd pre-cut mine. Or I thought I'd pre-cut enough and I didn't. All right, so there is that. So now we're good to go with that. All right. Now we are ready to assemble our cards. So what kind of stamping did we do? Did we do anything on the inside? We need 2 of these because I put 1 on the inside. So I've got to step away one more time so I can cut this out. And I think what I'm going to do is cut that one that I stamped. Why did I not cut these out before? Well, at least I had everything else prepped. To where, yeah, let's do this. All right, give me 1 second. Get my paper here. My die lined up. So you're going to need 2 of these greeneries. All right. So now we are ready to do our assembling. So we're going to take one of our pieces of basic white, and all we're going to do is put some adhesive. This, I think I am going to use the liquid glue just because it's going on the inside of the card base here. Okay. Maybe I won't get that all over me. And then all we did is take that and stick into the bottom corner. And then I'm going to just hold it there a second. Okay. And then this, we're ready to hook down into the inside of our card base. Okay. And then this is just going to go in the inside. We're going to take this then and we're going to fold that down. Normally I do that first and I did not do that this time, so it'd be okay. We're going to fold that down. Our secret C is going to go there. Our sprigs are going to go there. Now, let's do this stamping real quick, and then we are going to get started with, we got to pull the washi tape back out. So let's stamp our sentiment. For this one, I used Here For You, and I stamped that in Secret C. All right. So we're going to tap it into Secret C, and then we're going to push down and pull up. Okay. And then we're going to take our little flower, and we're going to do 1 and 1. Okay. And that's all the stamping we're doing. So we're going to pull that away so we don't get that on everything. Now, we've got to pull the washi tape out again. Here we go. Now, for this time, you're going to take your washi tape and you're going to run it across your cardstock this way. Because remember, this card is going sideways. So you're going to want to make sure your design is going in the right direction. And remember to only do it in small pieces so you don't get the wrinkles all in it. And then we're going to cut it. Okay. And then you got to overlay it. Overlap it, but you want to make sure you have your design going in the same direction. Okay, and then it's real easy to line the washi tape up. And even if it overlapped, it would be okay. It's not that biggie. All right, so let's cut this off. Maybe go along this way. Okay. Now, what I did with the leftovers is I took a piece of scrap and I attached it to the scrap. And then I just cut along that side. And then we got to trim off the extra pieces. All right, and then I want to trim up this tuck because it got kind of jabby. All right, guys, we're almost finished. I know our time's about up because I tried to keep craft-alongs about an hour and a half long. But don't jump off because I want you to do the voting. So stay tight. All right, so now the last thing we've got to do is we've got to cut this into strips of 1.5 inches each. Okay, so let's get our trimmer out again. And it's 1.5 inches. Okay, 1.5, and then 1.5. All right. Now this is going to go on to the Secret C. And what I did is I kind of put them on here to kind of see where I wanted my pieces to go. Now you decide your gap, okay? And if you don't want to do 1.5 inches, then you do your length. I chose to do 1.5 because this piece I did not pre-cut because of the washi tape. I was letting you guys do that piece. I'm going to just lay that on there. I am not hooking it down just in case I need to move it around in a few seconds. Thanks, Debbie. Yeah, I really like this. I do quite a few of my cards stripped up. I don't always do them on the videos, though. That's the difference. So I pulled out one of my old tricks. All right, so there is that. I think they're good. I'm going to try to scoot that one over just a little bit. There. All right, that's good. So I'm pressing that down now. All right. So now what we're going to do is take this and put on with dimensionals. And because it was kind of big, I did all 4 corners and I did one in the center. All right. We're going to take our pick tool. And if you got on after I did my opening, for those that ordered the kits and did not receive them, I will be in touch with you tomorrow. I have reached out to the shipping company that I use to find out what happened, and they have made it good for me in the past. So stay tuned and I will make it good for you too if you did not get your kit tonight in time. Okay, and then I have decided for the March craft along registration is going to be sooner, and that way I can get the kits out quicker to you and not wait until the week of to send them. Okay, so if you're not on my email list, if you're interested in the craft alongs or any of the classes that I offer, make sure you're on my email list, because that is how I do my registration information. I do create events from some of them on the Facebook page, but I don't create everything I offer. So emails are the best way. And if you prefer not to be emailed, but you want to be updated, if you just send me an email, I can also do everything through a text. I just have to get permission to do texting. So if you rather be text instead of emailed, that is an option too. You just need to let me know that it is okay that I do that. All right, so I put the Secret C right there. For the other greenery, I am going to put 2 dimensionals on here, one at the bottom and one at the top. And we are going to pop this up. And then this is going to overlay right there. Okay. And then we are going to use this new ribbon. It is called garden green and white, and it's like a chevron type. And I, of course, did a double bow. If I'm not mistaken, again, this was done for you. I did the bows, I believe, in this kit. Normally, I just give you the supplies, but I was having fun this week playing in the craft room, or last week in the craft room when I was prepping all of the kits, and I just sat down and had Lifetime on, and I was tying y'all's bows. All right, and cutting your supplies. So here is this. We're going to tie a double bow, and we're going to make that loop just a little smaller, little big. All right, so now we're going to put our glue dots down, and then I'm going to share with you the cards that we have done to give you an overview of all 5 of the cards. We made 5 cards tonight. And if you are interested in the March craft along, that will be going out. The information will be going out toward the end of this week for registration, because like I said, I have moved up my deadlines, so therefore registration is going to be coming out sooner. But be on the email list, or like I said, if you want it to be text instead, just make sure I have your information and I will text you. So we're going to take this and we're going to stick that right over the stem part. All right, and for some reason my tails are being wacky. All right, well, now we're going to take this and hook it to the card front. And are y'all ready to vote? One of the products that I am using, it is not available yet. It is one of the new March online exclusives. So you are getting a sneak peek of new product that is coming out. But by the time Craft Along happens, it will be available. So I can share it with you and all that. So here is card number 5. Let's pull those out real quick, and then we will pull out the other projects so y'all can vote. All right, so there's card 5. Here is card 4. Here is card 3. Here is card 2. And here is card 1. How about that? And you know what I did not do for card 5? We forgot to put the gems on, so I'm going to swap it out so you can see that it does have gems. So it's got 3 silver gems on there. But it has been an hour and a half, so I'm trying to share all the projects so you can see what we did. And again, I did not have any extra kits this month. So if you are interested in the projects, if you go to my store, there is a link in this video. If you go to my store and place a $39 order, I will send you the PDF for these projects. So you've got the step-by-step instructions. All right? So let's move these out of the way. I hope you have enjoyed the February craft along. And if there's anything I can help you with, I am here. Just reach out to me. All right, guys. So craft along for March. Help me decide which one are we going to do. Now, this set that I'm going to show you now, it is currently available and you are able to purchase it now. So that one is the Lovely Arrangements. All right. Or that's option 1. Oh, thank you, Debbie. So this here is option 1 for the craft along for March. Or we can use this set, which is not available yet. This one that I'm going to show you now is, it is pre-order for demonstrators right now. And it goes live, I want to say March the 3rd for customers. And it is called Springtime Scenes. All right, so vote for me. Tell me which one do you want for craft along for March. Do you want Lovely Arrangements? And this has sentiments in it that says, just a note, happy birthday. You are so lovely, so very much. Sending smiles, always here for you. Hello, friend. Thank you and love you. And it's a flower bundle. Also, it has the dies, and I just got these, so I haven't opened them, but it's got these really cute dies. All right, so that is option 1 for craft along for March. Or we can do the new online exclusive, which is called Springtime Scenes. It says, you brighten my day, sweet springtimes, sending lots of sunshine. It has a ladybug, celebrate new beginnings, and we'll get through this together. All right? So that is that. The dies that come with it, let's see what they look like. Because like I said, I just got these Friday. Ooh, look at all these dies. Lots of fun things. So vote, and I will make a decision by Wednesday as to which set is going to be for our craft along for March. So option 2 is Springtime Scenes. Option 1 is